We're back!
They're back! It's Where's Warranty Titanator!
Yeah, so we're back to watching another movie today after a couple of
Hiatus, yeah.
hiatus and interventions and such,
Yes.
and it was like the gods must be crazy.
So yes, that's what we're doing today, guys. The gods must be crazy.
Yes, on VHS, an epic comedy of absurd proportions.
Yes.
I believe you also told me that this was not the original cover for it. I've actually not seen it myself.
No, this was altered. They included I forget, what was his name again? That character. Damn it.
It was. Let's just say it was his friend,
Yeah, his friend, the main. Well, I wouldn't say he's the main actor, but I mean,
like the supporting cast.
yeah, the guy who plays Stain or Mr. Stain. One of his buddies. He's like a repairman, basically. And he has knowledge of the tribe that's in this film. Anyway,
he speaks Bushman because he lived with them for a couple of years.
Bushman. But yeah, they have him on the cover here, I guess, because they felt that
it was funny.
it was funny. I guess he's like
It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the back of the synopsis: an epic comedy of absurd proportions. For 5,000 years, things have stayed pretty much the same for Zai and his fellow Bushmen. Then one day, an empty Coke bottle drops magically from the sky, and life goes topsy-turvy in the face of this generous gift of the gods. When Zai sits... I probably screwed up his name. It's like Zai.
Zizai.
Okay, when Zizai sets off to return the mystical present, he encounters a romantic microbiologist, a school teacher, and a band of terrorists, all enmeshed in a plot so insane it could only happen in this civilized world. True. An international sensation, The Gods Must Be Crazy is one of the most original, thought-provoking, and entertaining comedies ever. Starring a real-life bushman, Zhao, it's a movie that looks at us from the other side and shows us just how crazy we are. Approximately 109 minutes, color 1984.
Yes, although the film came out in 1980. I don't know why they said 84 in the back, but yeah, it's 1980, guys. So that's it's quite a while from, right? That's 30. Is it 36? Yeah, it is, right? 36 years, guys. Long time. Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be about over 30 years and stuff. So you recommended this movie. I forget why, but
Well, I saw it when I was younger. It was on. My dad had recorded it from City TV back in the day when it was airing on TV, and when I saw it, I found it pretty funny, and I really enjoyed this film. It did really well. It had a sequel, which was different from this film, quite different. But
did you like the sequel?
you know what? It's pretty forgettable. I don't remember much about it. Yeah, I guess this one had much of a greater impact.
I guess should have been called The God Must Be Forgotten.
Yes, I think so. Or they're crazy to make a sequel. Yes. But yeah. So what did you think? This is your first time checking it out?
Okay, because when you were trying to explain to me about this plot, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of silly. And yeah, it is silly, but after watching it in its entirety, I actually really, really like it. I would actually watch it again, right now. I don't know. It's very charming. It's quite funny too, and it feels like a 1 hour movie, but this is really it's an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say that's pretty impressive. I would actually watch it again. Although the first 4 minutes of it looked like a National Geographic picture. I was just like, oh boy, we're starting with stuff like this, but it's very deceiving. It's really good.
Yeah, it starts off, but it's trying to teach us about this Bushman, the tribes, right? That they're how they live and how everything's so peaceful. Not they have no outside factors.
They don't live like our lives. It's just everyone's all nice to each other. They're all a nice family.
They work together.
They don't care about all these worldly possessions and stuff of ours. They just live their lives. They don't have to go through the stress of it because it's like, oh, people in the civilized world at 800, they have to pretend to be working, and at this time they do this, this, and this.
Yeah, they show us what we do in our supposed civilized
and
world.
then, when you look at it compared to them, it's like, wow, their life are so much more simplistic. And yes, that's true, but at the same time, it doesn't seem stressful at all. It's just like they just live, and that's life. And
then there's a moment where the two worlds clash thanks to a Coke bottle that is conveniently dropped
by some lazy asshole who was flying a plane and it drops, and it he quote unquote pollutes the place because well he was throwing his trash. That's called pollution.
It is pollution. Yeah.
So so Zizai, because coming from a place where it's not civilized compared to us, things are completely different and seem different. Are completely different and seem very mystical and magical to him. So like when the narrator said the planes fly and it's like, oh, it's the god's flatulence and stuff, and then drops the Coke bottle and it's like, oh, it's a gift from the gods. I gotta say that I found that like quite amusing how the way they wrote it and whatnot, that they made so much use out of a glass Coke bottle. I was like, because I was telling you, like when I look at just a bottle or a container, it's just like I just drink it. But no, they used it for everything from beating things, rolling up skins and snake skins and whatnot.
Yeah, it became a very useful tool until
everyone needed it.
Yeah, until like people wanted to claim it as their own, like
because there was only one.
Yeah, there was only one, so that's what caused problems. Kind of like the whole, I guess, I was talking about the whole Adam and Eve thing where they're getting more knowledge about
the world,
and it's then it causes some conflict between each other.
It kind of reminds me of this one manhwa I was reading like whenever it gets updated, where this guy gets trapped on an island and these natives, like they're just living peacefully, but he like fucks up the ecology of that system by introducing things like possessions and all that stuff. And the main character was a real asshole, I gotta say. But in this case, it's like was it the leader or what? Anyway, Zizai was like this evil thing must be thrown off at the end of the world. But like first time they try to throw it back in the sky, but obviously gravity did not occur to them in that way. So he goes on to this quest to go get rid of the bottle, and that's where he clashes in with all the other people, the biologist, school teacher, and whatnot. You know what? Like I was asking earlier, like because I was like, are these actors or actual Bushmen? And it was like, I was like, it's probably Bushmen, and they cooperated to make this film. I wonder did the actor Zizai or Zhao ever saw the film, because I think it would have been kind of amusing just to see like what he's done, but I don't think it bothers him because he doesn't need it.
Yeah, like I'm not even sure. Like they don't even accept payment, right? So they probably gave them food, and I guess that was what they
or just something reasonable.
Right? No.
Yeah, because like at the end, I was like, oh, he tried to Mr. Stain tried to give him money, but it's like but his friends like they don't need money.
Yeah, in the character context, it's true.
I was like, they could have just given him a ride. That would have been fine. Oh well, he got back to where he was.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of type characters in this film. We had
the city girl.
Yeah, the city girl. It's kind of like, I don't know if she's like high maintenance, but she's like a teacher. And then we have Stain, who's like an archaeologist. Well, not really archaeologist, right?
A biologist.
Biologist, sorry.
Kind of like a Steve Irwin or something like that.
But he's a bit of a klutz when it comes to
women
interactions with women. And then there's I forget his name, but there's a big shot guy who just comes in conveniently pretending.
Oh, the rival guy, the stereotype, who's like, hey, I'm much better around women than you. It's like, hey, nature boy, why don't you keep digging up shit? Because he analyzes manure, and I was like, that's his job.
Yeah, so he's always trying to like one up, Stain throughout the film, and even at one point he's just trying to take credit for saving everybody when it was actually Stain who was
when the terrorists when the terrorists like took hostages of like the children and stuff, including Mrs.
Botswana, was it?
It was in Botswana, or at least they ended up in Botswana eventually, because there's this plot with the terrorists where they were trying to kill the president of a certain country.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Botswana, but that's not where they were. They ended up in Botswana.
Yeah.
But they tried to kill the president. They failed because they went and killed the minister of education. And it's like, how'd you mess this up? So then they're on the run from like the authorities, and then it led up to the point where the climax point where everyone like bumps into each other. Let's see. So there was the plot about Zizai trying to get rid of the bottle, which he calls the evil thing,
which is a Coca-Cola bottle.
And Mr. Stain, who's trying to get over his his
Fears, I guess, or
anxiety, not anxiety,
Yeah.
but like his bumbling of like trying to confess to the teacher who came to Botswana to teach the children
yeah,
in class. I kind of somewhat missed that. I thought she was there for something. I thought she was supposed to write an article or something.
Yeah.
As I said earlier in the film, like, oh, they wanted me to write an article, but I'm not so sure about that. She gets captured as a hostage along with the children, and because of the terrorists that were running about, and then at the end it all resolves. And well, the pacing is really good. Like I said, I felt the movie felt very, very short.
It did, yeah. And it does have like the moments where like it seems like it was rewinding certain.
The editing you were referring to, the editing is very wacky.
Ay 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 ay. Yeah, you're right.
I noticed. God, those catchphrases are
Yeah.
so lame, but yet like you can kind of let it go because it kind of becomes funny after a while.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, the editing, it was very if you did that editing in any other movie, like something serious, it would like just kind of ruin the
Ruin it,
movie.
but I mean it's a comedy. So.
It's a comedy, so you kind of let it slide.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's still
acceptable.
good. It's still good though. They had a good pacing, and if it was done like if you did that editing like say in like the Batman movies, I would have just been like,
No, you're right, you would have accepted it. But
well, maybe Adam West Batman.
yeah, that's true.
But like, yeah, the editing it seems questionable, but you kind of let it slide because it's a comedy, and the comedic parts are quite funny. There's not too many. Actually, there's quite a bit of slapstick around here, but not like the
Yeah.
Three Stooges kind.
A little bit. I mean, with the whole Jeep,
Oh god, there's a big thing that going on with the Jeep that
no
plays.
brakes.
Like it's a broken Jeep that Mr. Stain like drives around. Taking with what was the lady's name again? I keep forgetting the name. That's
Mrs. Thompson, I think, or Kate.
Kate Thompson.
Kate Thompson,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. The names just escape me. I don't know why. Like I like the movie and I know the characters, but I don't remember their names. That
They don't really like mention them enough. I think that's one of the things. I mean, Mr. Stain you hear enough, and Thompson, but the other characters we don't really hear their names that often. Yeah.
like you hear them once in a while,
Yeah.
like Zai. Like we didn't know. I didn't know his name for the longest time until he was in court.
Yeah,
Like that's halfway in the movie.
which is an interesting scene because, from that character's perspective, they're not aware of laws. They don't
They don't have
they don't have
laws.
laws, right? So yeah,
So they don't have like evil,
Yeah,
bad
so he doesn't
until
know-
certain things happened.
yeah.
They-
So I guess that's what allowed him to get out, right? Because in a way, like they.
No, that's what caused Mr. Stain and his friend to like try and get him out.
Yeah, try to get him out.
Because his friend was stuck with, like, he was saved by the Bushmen and lived with them for 3 years. That's how he was able to
Yeah.
interpret for them. And he's like,
Language.
he's going to die
If he's in jail, yeah,
if he just stays there.
for 3 months, yeah.
Oh jeez. so they employ Zai. When they first met, though, it was like he tried to give them back the glass bottle, but it was like to them it's just trash. It's like, why are you giving me trash? And not realizing that
To him, it's a
to
big
him it's
deal.
like it's
Yeah.
like this really mystical, magical object. It was just quite funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else we could touch on. I mean, we were talking about like perspective, right? So with Ziza or Zai, whatever his name is, from his point of view, he's not aware of cars or anything. So the first time he sees like the tracks of a car, he thinks it's like two snakes that slid around.
His interpretation of the world is very funny,
Yeah,
and
it's
considering
very
that, like, because we know what it is,
Yeah.
and but he doesn't. Then eventually, he kind of learns about it, and even drives the car.
Yeah.
Oh, when he drove the car in reverse,
Yeah.
it was funny
You have to
because
adapt
I
to
imagine in his head it was like, he's like, you stupid animal, go forward, and he just doesn't get it, and then he had to like actually sit backwards to like drive it. Like that was so
Yeah,
that was fun. That was
Well,
funny.
backwards thinking worked in that case, but
Yeah, that happens a lot because the truck the brakes doesn't work. So
No.
every time like people have to get out of the cars to like run past it to try and stop it and such.
that was pretty silly. What else can we point out? I mean, everybody in their own way of life, I guess they.
Oh yeah, I was talking about like this movie also feels like a social commentary
It
too,
does, for
without
sure.
really shoving it down your throat. I mean, the part where the narrator is like, civilization does this at this certain time, and this is what happens, and it's like, oh yeah, that's true. That's pretty true. Everyone in the civilized world works 9 to 5 or whatever
You
stuff
know,
like
with the
that.
Bushmen, I mean, they don't have days of the week.
They just live, they just survive, they just have fun.
Yeah, they just operate on, I guess, when the sun comes up, sun goes down. That's pretty much
They live
what their time is.
they live a happy, healthy life.
Yeah.
Going back to the comedy, like the comedy spreads to everywhere. Like even like when we mentioned the terrorists,
Even with them, yeah.
they're not super serious. They,
No.
I mean, the leader is, yes, but still, even then, it's comedic. Like with the two guys always playing cards.
Yeah, they always play
and
cards.
I liked how that
Yeah.
actually played into the end, where it's like, hey, where'd the other?
Two
Why are there
guys.
only 6 guys here? And it's like, oh, the reason because not all of them were here because those 2 guys kept playing fucking cards. They didn't take their situation very serious. Like because you were saying, like
Yeah.
maybe they didn't want to be bad. It was just like, oh,
It's just-
we're just here. And
I think that's what they were commenting in the movie. They're saying, maybe some of the people, they're victims of their surroundings. I mean, maybe they don't want to be bad, but they're just.
What can they do?
They just live there, so they became terrorists. But you can tell deep down, I don't think they want to be. They're just playing cards at any time they have a
they
chance
slack
to
off
do
whenever
so.
given the
Yeah,
chance.
pretty much. Like that Samboha guy who always wants them to, it's like, hey, what do you eat this thing? Like he wants them to,
You play again, and I shoot you.
Pretty much, yeah. But maybe the movie's also trying to say that, you should just be yourself, no matter where you are. I mean, even with the Stain in the end, he's a bit of a klutz around women, but I guess it wins Mrs. Thompson over in the end. So even though I forget what
That other guy.
he's like the whole face off.
His friend, the guy on the
the
cover.
cover, yeah.
He's funny.
it's
He's
pretty
comedic and kind of just like he's kind of like the wise supporting character.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, yeah, I know what this is.
Well, he has 7 wives, supposedly.
Oh yeah. He knows how to marry seven women, but he doesn't know how to
Live with
live
them.
with them. I was like, oh, ouch.
Yeah.
That's funny, and
Yeah.
that's just funny.
Well, what else can we touch on in this film?
See, that's why it's like it's somewhat difficult talking about a comedy,
It
like
is,
with
yeah.
with The Mask, because it's like we just talk about whether we liked it or not, and I really, really liked it. I liked the comedy. I would definitely watch it again. And
Yeah.
I would highly recommend that if you ever get the chance, watch it. It's really, really like fun to watch, and it's really good too.
Yeah.
And I think most people will enjoy it. Of course, assuming you can find a DVD of it.
The Gods Must Be Crazy. Yeah, there is a DVD. Yeah, I just happen not to have it, but
Yeah, thankfully I do have a VHS player. Yeah, I bet you don't know what a VHS player is.
Well, one thing we were talking about, we were wondering if the subtitles would have maybe translated with Z.
Oh
or Zai would
yeah,
have been
because
saying,
there were many moments where it's like
because he makes these clicking sounds. He's like, I don't know, stuff like that. But it's hard to understand.
like it's like I kind of would have liked some subtitles because there are
Yeah.
parts where they weren't translated by Stain's friend to like tell us like, oh, what did he say? It's just like I guess it leaves it up to your imagination.
Yeah,
it
it
depends
does.
on how you think. Because if there's subtitles, and it's like you're always gonna
It
think
throws her, yeah.
you're always gonna think just what that is. But when it's not there, you can be like, oh, he's probably saying this and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that too. I mean, there was a film that my dad always says I should watch called The Third Man, back in the I think 30s or 40s, and yeah, there was a scenes where the language isn't, there's no subtitles, so you just have to like
Interpret it.
interpret what's going on, and it made it more. I don't know. I guess
Open-minded.
open-minded, and you had to be more alert as to what was going on with the characters that way.
Yeah, because the other thing is, if you did put subtitles, our eyes would be glued to the text, and
Yeah.
then not as much as to the overall thing, because then you kind of
Yeah.
get kind of tunnel vision on it.
It's true. Because a lot of times I find that films want us to, or the films that want to make us think, they want us to be as aware of,
Focused on like the
on-
picture, not
Yeah,
the
exactly.
tiny
Like
words.
maybe the body language of the characters that can give away certain things. Yeah. Because even when I'm with friends that speak other languages, I can kind of tell from body language what might be going on. So it kind of helps, I guess, decipher if you don't understand the language.
That's a certain
but,
a
yeah.
certain type of communication where you don't need to understand. You understand the feeling
Yeah.
that's being expressed.
Yeah,
You don't
for
understand
sure.
what they're saying exactly. Kind of like what he said. He was like, I understand the words, but I don't get the meaning behind them.
Like this evil thing. Yeah, it's true.
God, that's the Coke bottle is. I was wondering, is that some sort of message about Coke being an evil
That's
thing?
what I was wondering, because to have a Coke bottle featured in the film, and that must be like one of the most memorable product placements, I would say, in
It could have just been a glass bottle, but
movie
it had to be Coke.
movie history. But anyway, like Did they think they would use it to that in that way, like to make it an evil thing? Maybe they weren't aware.
Maybe it's a subtle message.
Yeah.
Like see, we're overthinking it, but it's also kind of amusing at the same time.
Well, I don't think
because some people think like, oh, it's just a Coke bottle. That's funny because we know what Coke is. But other or like say me, it's like is that like saying like Coke's bad? Because I do think so. Because I don't like Coke.
Yeah, I think it could mean that for sure. So I don't think Coke had any idea what they were doing when they allowed their brand to be in this.
I wonder
in this
did they have to
film,
get rights for that Coke bottle? Because
I'm
even
sure-
on the back
yeah.
cover it says Coke bottle. It just said glass bottle, and that was the
but-
whole point of
They
it.
got it right, so yeah. But I guess since it was a comedy, they didn't really think too much about it. Maybe they say yeah you can use her name, whatever. They didn't really think they were gonna like maybe make a message about it as an evil thing, but yeah.
Or maybe they didn't see it yet, and maybe after they see this, and they're
And they
like,
go-
oh shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Thought about it too much. But that's what's so nice about this film is like you just think about it and then just talk about it.
Yeah, and it's a pretty it starts out with a simplistic
Story.
simplistic story, and but it works.
It's still simplistic throughout the whole entire
Yeah.
thing, but it all like works out together in the end. It all accumulates.
Yeah, it does. As for the sequel, well, I don't remember anything about it, so I guess it didn't have as much of an impact as this film had. Yeah, I don't know why, but but I guess that kind of shows you maybe the movie in itself
Had a deeper meaning
It
behind
did.
it that
It
like
did.
the sequel didn't capture because it was just like, oh, it was funny because
Yeah, that's the thing about our civilized society, so to speak, is that when something does well,
you try to copy it.
people want to see more, or they want more money, right? In other cases, so it was only a matter of time that this film would become a product of itself and spawn a sequel, even though it didn't really need one.
I definitely would not need a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I would just watch this again.
Yeah.
It's like a timeless tale almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you would want to say about it? Because whenever it comes to like comedy, and especially when the movie's like not even bad in the slightest bit, it's like I find that kind of hard to talk about like a good movie. It's just like, oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Well, we were commenting on how you were saying that Jurassic Park had a scene that kind of seemed something like
the
with the
elephant?
elephant, right? But in the Jurassic Park, it was Triceratops, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was on the ground.
Yeah, the whole like filming in the wildlife stuff. There was that one part with the rhino that made me laugh. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that has to be plastic or
thought-
like Rubbermaid because it was like the Smokey Bear that like
They
would
put
get-
out the fire.
I was like, you can't get a real rhino to do that. I don't believe it.
No, I think it's just part of the story. Maybe, I don't know.
Funny, but
Yeah,
it's like, but you had me questioning like real or not. It's definitely it has to be fake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what else we could say.
I'm surprised they didn't do that more like at the end where it's like Staines like summons the rhino and it comes like causes like panic around or something like that. Or maybe the terrorists are trying to cook something and a rhino comes by and it's like, oh no, it's a rhino. And then like
she
then
actually
Kate sees it and it's like, oh, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, they could have done that, but I guess they chose not to. I think another reason why I don't remember the sequel is because the main cast actually, other than Z, didn't come back.
Oh really?
I think that's why. Yeah, so it was different without Stain and Miss Thompson. So yeah, wasn't the same.
Yeah. So would you recommend?
Yes, I definitely recommend this. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you'll have a laugh. Give it 2 thumbs up. Yes.
I'd give it more.
More?
if my fingers could turn into thumbs, like
Oh, like Stain said. Yeah.
yeah, like Stain said. Yeah, definitely watch it if you ever get the chance. Like I really enjoyed it. I would like to watch it again too. It's just entertaining and it gives you a good feeling at the end of it.
Yes, it does. All right. Well, anything else left to talk about? The nudity.
No, I'm not. Like I brought that up, but it was like there's not much to say about it.
Well, they were just trying to show that they were, the Bushmen.
Natural.
That's their natural environment, and there's no shame there either. Like they're very.
Because also, Kate, we do see her in lingerie too at points.
Yeah, like they're not aware of all this sexy whatever thing. Because in Z's eyes, Kate's not even attractive. Like he's
like when he
she's the
first
most-
sees Kate, he's like, what an
unattractive.
ugly woman. She was as pale as the clouds and was like had ugly ass hair.
And she was like webbing his clothing or something.
like clothing that looks like made
spider.
from cobwebs. Right. But yeah, that's Gods Among Us, an epic comedy of absurd proportions.
Yeah, gods must be crazy. It's true.
So stay tuned for next time when we watch something else. I don't know what it will be, but we'll have to see.
Yes. We'll be back, guys.
Stay
Peace.
tuned.
Character, damn it.
It was. Let's just say it was his friend,
Yeah, his friend, the main. Well, I wouldn't say he's the main actor, but I mean,
like the supporting cast.
yeah, the guy who plays Stain or Mr. Stain. His one of his buddies. He's like a repairman, basically, and he has knowledge of the tribe that's in this film. Anyway,
Well, he speaks Bushman because he lived with them for a couple
Yeah,
of years.
Bushman. But yeah, they have him on the cover here, I guess, because they felt that
it was funny.
it was funny. I guess he's
Like it looks kind of weird. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the back of the synopsis: an epic comedy of absurd proportions. For 5,000 years, things have stayed pretty much the same for Zai and his fellow Biden shows us just how crazy we are. Approximately 109 minutes, color 1984.
Yes, although the film came out in 1980. I don't know why they said 84 in the back, but yeah, it's 1980, guys.
so that's it's quite a while from, right? That's 30. Is it 36? Yeah, it is, right? 36 years, guys. Long time. Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be about over 30 years and stuff. So you recommended this movie. I forget why, but
Well, I saw it when I was younger. It was on. My dad had recorded it from City TV back in the day when it was airing on TV, and when I saw it, I found it pretty funny and
Bushman. Then one day, an empty Coke bottle
yeah.
drops magically from the sky, and life goes topsy-turvy in the face of this generous gift of the gods. When Zai sits... I probably screwed up his name. It's like Zai.
Ziza, yeah.
Okay, when Zizai sets off to return the mystical present, he encounters a romantic microbiologist, a school teacher, and the band of terrorists, all enmeshed in a plot so insane it could only happen in this civilized world. True. An international sensation, The Gods Must Be Crazy is one of the most original, thought-provoking, and entertaining comedies ever. Starring a real-life Bushman, Zhao, it's a movie that looks at us from the other side.
We're back.
They're back. It's Wasteland Detonator.
Yeah, so we're back to watching another movie today after what a couple of
Hiatus, yeah. It was
hiatus and interventions and such,
Yes.
and it was like the gods must be crazy.
So yes, that's what we're doing today, guys. The guys must be crazy.
Yes, on VHS, an epic comedy of absurd proportions.
Yes.
I believe you also told me that this was not the original cover for it. I've actually not seen it myself.
No, this was altered. They included I forget what was his name again. I really enjoyed this film. It did really well. It had a sequel, which was different from this film, quite different. But
Did you like the sequel?
you know what? It's pretty forgettable. I don't remember much about it. Yeah, I guess this one had much of a greater impact.
I guess that should have been called The God Must Be Forgotten.
Yes, I think so. Or they're crazy to make a sequel. Yes.
But yeah, so what did you think? This is your first time checking it out?
Okay, because when you were trying to explain to me about this plot, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of silly. And yeah, it is silly, but after watching it in its entirety, I actually really, really like it. I would actually watch it again.